everybody, and welcome to a new edition of the Baseball Talk Radio Show. I'm Gary Mack.
Hello, Mr. Gary Mack. Rich Baxter over here.
Hello, Rich. How are you on this cloudy, rainy day?
Not bad at all. Just happy to be back in the MLB, talk this week studios here that we have, and reflecting a little bit about the All-Star game. Just straight off the bat here, I know we both didn't watch it,
right?
And you can't take it seriously, even if you did watch it. But the American League ended up with the win again.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell you what the score was, but I did see a picture of the ugly uniforms, and they were pretty pitiful. And I think it was unanimous across the board that most people thought they were the ugliest things they've seen. So, it is what it is. I mean, congratulations to Pete Alonso, the Mets. He won the home run hitting contest. Whoop-de-doo, hit some in the season instead of worrying about the contest. But he has been on a power surge, so maybe it helped him. Who knows? Since then, but it is what it is, Rich, and I guess they're going to continue to play it as long as they've got some kind of support for it.
Yeah, the American League ended up with a 5-2 victory on the night, and they've been winning most of the last several years of play an All-Star game for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but of course this year Shohei Ohtani did a tremendous feat, and he was pitching a little bit. He almost threw his arm off. He pitched 100-mile-an-hour pitch during the game. So
crazy.
The NL, like I was saying, dropped 15 of the last 18 All-Star games. That's pretty bad when you think about it, even though it means nothing. But, the NL is just not up to the task when it comes to these All-Star games.
Yeah, I don't, it's kind of, if you're a golf fan out there, which I am, it reminds me a little bit about the U.S., like the U.S. and the Ryder Cup. The U.S. used to dominate the Ryder Cup, and then once the Europeans broke through, it's gone. Mostly the Europeans have won, the majority of them. The U.S. has won a couple, of course, but it's like that way. National League used to dominate, and now the American League dominates in the All-Star game. But you have to wonder whether they are more attuned to playing in that type of game, or is it just, I don't know. I don't think they got better players, because the World Series shows a different story. So I don't know what it is, but it is an exhibition, and I guess it used to be fun. It doesn't mean as much now to me, especially because of the interleague play, and it's just it's not the same anymore.
Yeah, it's almost like an all-star basketball game or hockey. It's an exhibition is what it is. And
yeah,
good for the game, even though we told our listeners, we're not for what happened with the move. They moved it anyway. Big deal. Got on with it. Did it accomplish what it was supposed to? Absolutely not.
Not
Didn't
not
accomplish it. In fact, it just, like, to echo just a second or two of our last show, it really hurt the Atlanta area, and it's a shame. I most feel bad for the Atlanta folks. They were penalized for that, but I don't want to get back into a long, drawn out thing about that. But so stupid is about two words to sum it up.
Well, talking about stupid, Cleveland has a name officially named itself. Its new name, I guess you might say. The Cleveland Indians, of course, bowed to political pressure or to left wing pressure, and it's going to change its name from the Cleveland Indians to the Cleveland. Get ready for this.
Drum roll, please.
Guardians.
Oh, oh, oh.
The name will go into effect following the conclusion of the 2021 season. So next season. I don't know how much of this you saw, but they got Tom Hanks to narrate this video announcing it. And I can't wait until they announce the new name after the Guardians flop. So we'll see what they go to then. But I don't know. If you've seen the logo, it kind of looks like a cross between the Flash and a scene from Adventures in Babysitting, and the Gatorade logo. So I don't know. I couldn't think of a dumber name, really. It's pretty stupid. The Guardians, and we're the Guardians. It's something like out of a 1930 radio serial show, it was on every week. Like the Shadow or something. The Guardians.
Yeah, the Guardians of the baseball world. I did hear it announced yesterday on the way into work. And so stupid. I'll say that again for this one. So stupid. I don't understand how Cleveland and the baseball world has fallen into this gobbledygook of stupidity again. An Indian, it's no disrespect at all to be named the Cleveland Indians. I thought it was good. It's going to bring promotion. And I've said this on the show before. I hate to be a broken record, but it's going to promote learning of, hey, the Indians. Oh, let me find out about the Cleveland, the Indians that were around Cleveland hundreds of years ago. Okay.
Right.
All these things may have happened hundreds of years ago, but to bring it up now is so, and I don't want to keep saying stupid. I want to say uneducated, maybe, what's in a title, what's in a logo. I can't explain it.
It's what's going on in this world. People don't like something and they want it changed, and for whatever reason, all these teams, everybody is kowtowing to these factions of our society, and and they come up with these stupid, idiot names. I mean,
and I think you said it right. The faction, the extremists, the people that have no better things to do with their life than worry about this. And they're out there. They're always going to be out there because they're screwy. They're screwy in the head. They want to find something wrong with everything. They want everything to be a plain wrapper, so to speak, but they don't go after the bad things in this country. And that's the shame of it all. They have to pick on like a baseball name, and it's pathetic. And, God help the Cleveland fan. I don't know how they're going to adapt to this or like it or even go with it. The logo looks absolutely like a third grader type of logo. It doesn't make sense, but God bless them, and hopefully they'll get through this.
I will disagree with you on one thing, that they know what they want. I don't think these factions know what they want. They get what they want. They think they know what they want, but then they're not happy. Then they want something else. So, and we keep catering to them like it's ridiculous. But you're right. This logo, I mean, come on. Like I said, if you look at the G and the lightning bolt, it looks like a Gatorade can. And the wings or whatever those things are supposed to be look like from the Flash on the top of his hat, especially the old Flash when he used to wear the helmet, like going years and years and years back. So
exactly.
you know, and the shame of it was it was the logo that got them that people didn't like, and they to me they had the greatest logo in the history of sports. Chief Wahoo. That was a fantastic logo. They cleaned it up over the years because in the 40s and 50s he had like a real pointy nose and didn't look, and they kind of tweaked it to make it look a little more congenial, if you will. But it was still, and I don't have the hat here, it's in the other studio, but uh I proudly have a Chief Wahoo Cleveland Indians hat, and I'm glad I bought it. And I heard somebody on TV the other day said they're going to go out and buy all Indians merchandise now. um I mean, they kept the same. If you look, all they did with they kept the same font and everything for the word. They're
Yeah.
Guardians, and
Uh-huh.
if you look, they only changed the IN and got rid of that, and they added the GUAR. That's all they
Yeah.
did. The DIANS is the same. I wonder if that had something to do with picking that name instead of picking something like the Spiders or something, which was a a baseball name that they had used years ago, which would
Yeah.
have been good, and I think was the most popular when
Yeah.
they took
This
a thing. I don't know where they got Guardians from, but hey,
yeah. If you're on the Cleveland Indians official website, they have the new name on there. And just to read it here, look, to protect, to keep watch, to defend. For Clevelanders, this is a way of life. We fought together for what we believe in. And if we get knocked down, we pick each other right back up and keep fighting. We're resilient, hardworking, and loyal to this city, to each other. That's what it means to be Cleveland Guardians. Okay, so yeah, it's so phony. Um, it's just ridiculous, but that's what we go with. And if you're going to be a Cleveland Indian fan, that's what you have to stay with. And they don't
now I
change their
think
names often, Gary, baseball
yeah.
teams.
Well, they were forced into it, so now you got to wonder whether they're going to go after Atlanta, the Braves next. Or what about the Yankees? I mean, down south, or that's got a connotation that's not good. What happens if you get a group of Southerners don't like the name Yankees? Are they going to make the Yankees change their name? What about the? I'm sure there's something else I can think of. The Athletics. How about the Athletics with somebody that's not athletic? A group saying we don't like that. It embarrasses us. I mean, you can go on and on. The Mariners, they killed fish or whatever. I don't know. Where you can get a group that's does anything. I don't know. I just the safest ones are probably colors,
Just a
but even
little,
then,
just a little background on that Indians name. They've been the Indians since 1915 to present. So all these years,
yeah,
uh,
106 years.
they've been known as the Indians, and it's been fine for 106 years, except for this year and last year and the year before that and the year that all these wackos, and I will call them wackos, have tried to strangle this country with their stupidity and their own agenda, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. And then Major League Baseball caved because they put the pressure on them to change the name. Manfred admitted that. He
Yeah.
said that they put the pressure on. So um I don't know, but that's the way of the world now. And what we have to do is come up with something ourselves and get a group together and put pressure on something that seems totally illogical. Like maybe we need to get a right wing group to go after the Cincinnati Reds because it invokes communists, you know, and force them to change their name, even though it's the Red Legs. Well, that means they're communist legs, and they're spreading communism throughout the Ohio. You know, just to prove the plain stupidity of their actions.
And you're not
But
going to and you're not going to hear this on any official baseball talk show. Anybody that's paid by baseball, even media, you're not going to hear this kind of commentary. It's going to be,
yeah,
oh yeah, they changed their name. How politically correct. How how nice of them to do that. And oh, it's so nice. They're not going to tell you what they really feel because they can't. They're being paid by baseball. They're being paid by media companies that pillage this stuff. And it's thank God for podcasts anymore. You're going to hear a bit of the truth, a bit of, what people really feel about things.
and trust us, we're not paid by anybody.
No, we're just, the average Joe with a podcast on baseball. It happens to be, but I don't know. It just, and it's going through sports. It's going through a lot of American life this year, especially with what happened with the election and things like that.
Yeah.
It's a definite chilling um, chilling mood across the whole country, in my opinion, and that's just me. But I don't agree to change for what somebody pipes up and says that's a faction of society, because you get all these factionists that promote their ideas, and then what do you have? You have a bunch of I don't want to devolve into political talk, but it's not good for the country. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, and we are on a time schedule today, so
Yeah.
we have to talk about that another day. But Rob Manfred did say that before the All Star game, that, and I'm sure he wasn't happy admitting this, but said that starting extra innings with runners on base and seven inning doubleheaders are toast after this year, and that eliminating or banning the defensive shift could restore baseball to its historic roots. He made the comments while speaking to the Baseball Writers Association of America before the All Star game. These rules were based on medical evidence, and those are less likely to become part of our permanent landscape. It was a COVID related change. Well, now with the variants, who knows in this virus, but seven innings and the guy on second, thank God, are going the way of the dodo bird. Hopefully, I don't believe anything anymore. I've become a true skeptic and a conspiracy theorist, and I don't believe anything until it happens anymore. This is what I've come to in this world now. But so, well, I'll believe it when I see it, but he says it's not going to happen. I think personally, Rich, he's using this for negotiations with the players' unions and the players, because the players' unions like the seven inning doubleheader. I don't know if they like the man on second or not, but I know they like the seven inning doubleheader, and I think he's going to use that as a bargaining chip with the the big agreement that has to be um, negotiated after this season or next season. So that's my feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely something that came out of left field, because it seemed like you said that everybody sort of accepted these things. But I'm so glad that they're being rolled back, if that's the truth. And because especially starting the runner at second base uh, in an overtime, extra inning situation, that was so stupid and I hate to keep echoing that that word all this podcast, but it just didn't make sense to do that for another team to have a big break on their half of the 10th inning, meaning the top of the order, top half of the inning. They're starting off with it had to increase their odds a certain percentage, and I'd have to look into a mathematician for that. But how many times do we see the game end in that top half of the inning? You really only have to move the runner a little bit, and you won the game. So, did it make sense? No, and not my opinion. But even the extra inning games for doubleheaders, a full game is a full game. 9-inning game. That was baseball's rules. They shortened it for whatever reason, to get home for dinner earlier or whatever like that. But it needed to go back. And I'm glad, if this is the case, that those two rules went out the window, because they sort of went out the window pretty easily without much fuss on the fans of guys like us that have been saying for a while that, well, me anyway, I could speak for it, I didn't care for it all that much.
No, I didn't like it either. I didn't like it either. And you know, the 7-inning thing, they didn't think that through. They didn't make the right choices. You know, they thought it through enough to figure if a pitcher pitches 7 innings, it's a complete game. But they didn't realize that what happens if he pitches a no hitter? Well, it's not a no hitter. It's a not. No, I'm sorry. If it's a complete game, it's a complete game. It's a no hitter. It's plain and simple. No hitter can't be 9 innings when you can't play 2 more innings. So, you know, there should have been an asterisk with that. If you pitch a no hitter in a scheduled 7-inning doubleheader, it is a complete game. It is a no hitter. Plain and simple. You changed the rules, not the pitcher. And Rich, it's going to be a busy week for baseball this week, as we come up to the trade deadline. Is on what's today, Sunday? It's on the 30th, which is, what is that, Friday?
Yes.
Yeah. So Friday is the trade deadline, and lots of rumors abounding. The Nationals apparently are going to make Scherzer available now. Joey Gallo, the Rangers are talking about getting rid of Joey Gallo. The Cleveland baseball team, which is still the Indians, they may make star third baseman Jose Ramirez available, especially after they lost 5 of 6. Your Phillies are going to be shopping around pretty good, I think, Rich. They're looking at Kimbrel, according to the rumors, and they're looking for relief pitching and starting pitching. So, should be an interesting week in the world of baseball.
Yeah, expected a lot of moves coming up. Chris Bryant going to find a new home. Maybe he'll be in New York. Who knows? But
Maybe.
One of the weirdest stories of the last week was this one that I'm going to put up on the screen for our YouTube viewers here. And for everyone else, I'll just talk about it. White Sox player Yermin Mercedes abruptly retired from baseball last week, announcing that he was finished. And I'm just learning now that one day after he abruptly announced that he would be retiring from baseball, he unretired. So he came back to the game. He retired for one day. What a joke. He said, first of all, I want to thank God for giving me life, to the fans that without them, I was nothing, Mercedes said, for a Sun Times translation of original Spanish. To my family for understanding and always supporting. I walk away from baseball for a while. God bless you. It's over.
Well, he walked away for a while, 24 hours.
It's so, he apologized for what he called, quote, my immaturity. Yeah, his gravy train. He stepped away from the gravy train for a day, Gary. the money trough,
Well, I think what happened is he's a 28-year-old rookie. I believe he burst onto the scene, was unbelievable in April, and then kind of tailed off. And I think they sent him down to the minors. And I think he was struggling down there again. And I think it just got to him. And he just, said, that's it. I'm throwing the towel in. And then, as you said, he probably thought about, well, geez, I'll have to get a job. So, uh, unretired and came back and is going to try to make it back to the majors. But yeah, that was one of those head shakers and made you scratch your head when I saw that this week completely.
Yeah, and funny comment here in one of the online publications. Guy says, I'm guessing that he found out fast food joints do not pay as much as baseball. So,
Well,
that's right.
that's true. You're gonna have to work for a living, and it's not easy.
That's for sure. And getting back to the trade deadline and things like that, we're having a quick show today to get back on schedule here. But each team's most untouchable player, which player will never move out of their current team? And this is on MLB.com this morning. I'll read just a few of them. Of course, these are no brainers. Vladimir Guerrero and the Blue Jays. Let's see. Rafael Devers, third base in the Red Sox. Garrett Cole for the Yankees. These are no brainers. Let's go over a couple of the NL players here. The Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr. for the outfield. The Mets, Jacob deGrom. That's a no-brainer, of course.
Yeah.
And the Phillies, I don't know about this one. Bryce Harper, outfield. I don't know. I don't know that I would take him off the table, being a Phillies fan even. I really don't, What could we get for Bryce Harper?
Part of that's the contract, too, I think,
Yeah.
That contract's kind of tough to trade, but
it's probably got the no trade on it.
I don't think they would move him, no. I really don't at this point.
Mookie Betts for the Dodgers, Buster Posey for the Giants, and Fernando Tatis out west for the Padres. So all pretty safe bets. They will not move by the end of next week. And of course, by next week's show, we'll have all the movement because it's got to be over by the end of July there. So our next show will report on all the movement.
Yeah, yep. We can report on some. Nelson Cruz, of course, didn't sign. He was traded from the Twins to the bail me out here. I forget who
the Rays, I believe. The Rays.
The Rays, that's right.
Yeah.
And then the Rays traded pitcher Rich Hill to the Mets for literally nothing. Tommy Hunter, who's been injured with a bad back, and Matt Dwyer, a low catching prospect. So they didn't get much for him, but the Mets pick up a 41-year-old pitcher. So with playoff experience, and he was having a pretty good year. So the Mets have been decimated, as you well know, with injuries this year, as well as a lot of other clubs. I said in Mets Musings, my other show, this past week, that they're not the only team that's been decimated by injuries. Just happened to hit their pitching staff, but a lot of teams have been hurt this year, and I think it's a circumstance of last year's 60-game schedule and the wear and tear on the body over a longer schedule, and they're feeling it this year. So, your body gets used to these things, and then when there's an abrupt stop in it, and then even though you get in shape and all of this stuff, it's still they may have been in too good a shape to start the season. That's why we've seen a lot of hamstrings and a lot of obliques this year, and I think it's that's the cause, but who knows? I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on the podcast. So
that's true. Well, we hope everybody enjoyed this brief show that we presented this week, talking about the world of baseball. If Bob's listening, my good listener, I appreciate your critiques. He says, try not to put the people to sleep. So we don't rehearse this show. So it's not like a show that you'll see on ESPN where it's sort of rehearsed, scripted, things like that. We delve and go off into our own tangents every once in a while for podcasting. But thanks for the criticism nonetheless. And we hope you enjoyed the show as well. Send us an email, Gary@baseballtalkradio.com or Rich over at baseballtalkradio.com. And we hope everybody has a great week leading up to the trade deadline.
Yeah, and as you said, we'll have a lot to talk about next week when we see you on another edition of the Baseball Talk Radio Show.